Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a bit about my last week in games. And as always, we'll start with some EVE Online, which has still been dominated by the war deck that is continuing. I tend to not take too many risks when it comes to a war deck, right? Don't give them any reason to extend the war. Make sure that they don't have too many targets and kills and things like that. So I basically still bounced around a little bit, did a little bit of exploration in the Mars space, but I'm definitely not doing like long mining sessions or very large exploration rounds or anything like that. It's usually just, quick in and out, single round, hope for something good. And well, it has been decently good, honestly, in a Mars space. Looks like there's a lot less competition all of a sudden, and we are seeing quite a few combat sites available for me, even on a single round of exploration where you're never in the same system twice, which I think is pretty important if you want to try a decently safe exploration session. After that, I made my way back to Jita. I had to move some resources back in there, specifically some more mineral resources and things like that. Just maintenance. I don't want to have my stuff all over the place. And then I started to do a little bit of station trading, which is definitely an activity that you can do under a war deck since you don't have to undock for that. And that's what I've been doing. A couple of successful trades already in Tech 2 ships. Even took a gamble on the Loki that went surprisingly low all of a sudden in a very short amount of time, basically overshooting in my opinion with extra supply. And yeah, we managed to make that trade as well. Not a lot of profit on it, but very happy to just get a quick gamble in on a Tech 3 cruiser. I would never do more than that, right? Just buy one when you think it's really dropped too low too quickly, then sell it at a profit and keep an eye on it, but it's definitely not something that I'm looking to trade with a lot of ships or anything like that. These are just little quick gambles that you would do. I consider that like a casino move. But the others, the Tech 2 ships, right, definitely a little bit more profit on those as well. 4 hounds sold for like a nice 20 million net profit. And so overall, I'm also making a couple of extra investments. I think I've got 5 of them ready. Now the market does need to switch, of course, but I think all of the charts are looking good on my investments there for like maybe a couple of weeks or so at the most, and then we should be able to take a profit. So it's looking good. I'm learning more, and it's a very nice combination, of course, with EVE Talk, where I tend to check all of that stuff, and it's like a weekly reminder. Okay, I got this. No, too early to sell, or I'll try to buy this and this. So it's really cool, and it's another aspect of EVE Online that is definitely a playstyle that some people may enjoy, and that is absolutely doable, right? You can make a lot of ISK just trading in Jita 4.4 mostly, but there's the other trade hubs, and then if you want to build on top of that, wouldn't want to do that under a war deck, of course. You can try to buy cheaply outside of the trade hubs and then maybe sell within, and then do the opposite. Once you find a nice trade route like that, trading itself in EVE Online can be super cool and lucrative as well. And yeah, other than that, CCP came out with some more stuff that they're working on. So Black Ops battleships are getting a big buff. So all of those Tech 2 battleships are like costing around a 2 billion ISK at the moment. Crazy prices, and so CCP is having another impact on the market there. After the Marauder buff, now we get Black Ops buff. So those Tech 2 battleships are just extremely expensive. I added a couple in EVE Talk just to hope to use them as a bit of a gauge for general Tech 2 production costs, but CCP is just distorting that market massively. And then the Edencom ships are getting a big buff as well, with the Vorton projectors able to do double the bounces that they do now, from 5 to 10, and that does start to make them look pretty damn interesting. All that stuff is up on CC, so you should definitely take a look at that. And if I'm not mistaken, there's also a little bit of a tweak to some of the exploration frigates, including the Helios getting an extra high slot so they can use the bubble immunity module. So overall, a little bit of rebalancing work that may have an impact on some of the ships, but of course we don't know beforehand when that happens. Had I known, buying a couple of Black Ops would have made a lot of ISK, but at the moment, of course, we have to just ride that wave and watch as CCP impacts the market without us having any holdings in those. So maybe a little bit more purchasing, a bit more diversification could be on the books. But honestly, my next move is probably going to be train the skills for Edencom ships, because the advanced weapon skills for the photon projectors have gone down in price quite substantially to a couple 100 million rather than a couple billion ISK. So I have actually purchased those, and I'm now starting to train up for it, because I do think those ships will become very interesting if the 10 bounces is what CCP does end up doing on TQ. It may be a little bit overpowered as well, so we will see what the final decision is on that. It's definitely still subject to change as well. But overall, in EVE Online, right, still managing to have a lot of fun every single day despite the war deck, and we're just experimenting with these playstyles that can be done while you are war decked. And that left me a little bit of extra time to play some more Skyrim. So what I've actually been doing there is run a couple of quests that I still had. Right? I actually still have a huge amount of quests, but a couple of that are pretty cool, pretty short, so that I've got them like basically out of the way. A couple of Daedra quests where, for instance, you come across Barbas, I think he's a dog somewhere, you know, on the road, and then he asks you, bring me back to my master. You gotta get the Rueful Axe, pretty powerful weapon, not as powerful as what I've made being a 100 enchanter, but it is definitely pretty cool. And you know, that's what I've been doing, just exploring the world a little bit more, making sure I've got all of the important waypoints, all of the cities covered, do a little bit of questing there, and just trying to level up a little bit more. Although I must say, of course, it is getting to become a little bit more slow at this point, because I still want to work a little bit more on my heavy armor, so I need to take some hits, get that to 70 so that it doesn't weigh me down as much. Yeah, my two-handed glass hammer has been replaced by an ebony one. Full enchants on that. That just hits like a truck. Even those really powerful enemies like the leeches and the dragons themselves, right? Once I can get my hammer out and start smacking them with that one, their health really takes big chunks. They're always staggered. It's just a lot of force behind all of that. So it's very, very satisfying, but because of the 100% enchanting, a little bit overpowered. And so what I'm doing is I'm trying to manage myself with you know, just using for instance conjured weapons rather than the overpowered weapons, doing a little bit of archery, a little bit of sneaking here and there. Not great with heavy armor, but just trying to get some of those levels up so that I can try to improve some of the other stuff as well. In fact, I've got two ebony one-handed swords as well, so I'm playing with the idea of maybe enchanting them but in a less powerful way, and then trying to get my one-handed up so that we can just get some extra points, invest them in some cool stuff, and you know, become a little bit more of a rounded character. Being just that two-hander with the enchants, it does make you super powerful, but there's definitely still some work that I want to do on the character before we jump into maybe some longer quest lines like the main quest line, or maybe the vampire one, and there's also, I think I've got all of the DLC, so there's also one that takes you back to Morrowind, and there's a whole lot of stuff to do over there as well. So overall, yeah, with Skyrim, I'm still definitely having fun. I'm not looking to push myself too hard, so we will see if there's anything else that comes on the horizon. I'm definitely willing to switch to another game, but when it comes to, you know, relaxing a little bit, I am back and enjoying Skyrim at the moment. Hopefully we get some cool stuff at E3 that we can look forward to as well. But yeah, that was my last week in games, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.